Evan, can you give us some comments about tonight's game?
We got our ass kicked.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. It was only the first day of the World Cup. No need to overreact. But Canada made a bold statement against France. Runners-up of the last year's Eurobasket, beating them by 30. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander reminded why he was selected to All-NBA first team. Kelly Olynyk negated Gobert's interior presence with his freeze, while Lou Dort and Dylan Brooks conducted a defensive clinic against Evan Fournier. All of this got me thinking, are Canada better than the United States and should be called the main contenders for the gold? Let's watch the tape. One thing stood out immediately. France guards were struggling badly against Canada's perimeter defense. Brooks, everyone's most hated villain, is pressuring Fournier way above the three-point line. Nothing is happening for quite some time and the possession gets bailed out by a tough step back. Okobo likes it, but that doesn't seem like a sustainable offense to me over 40 minutes. Dylan's work was phenomenal throughout the game. He denies Fournier the ball twice here while Powell puts pressure on Gobert. This invites Rudy to become a creator off the dribble from the three-point line. Do you like the way it sounds? Because he gets the dunk on the putback, but again, should France's coach be glad about this offense? Few seconds later, Jordi Fernandez throws a lineup of Brooks, Dort, and Alexander Walker together. The result? The best defensive possession of the game. Walker makes the call of forget he knows how to dribble. Dort has Fournier trying to receive the basketball at half court. Brooks denies Yabusele, and we have a situation where Gobert has the ball 9 meters away from the rim with 10 seconds to go. Finally, Fournier gets it and Canada is in a drop, but look at Dort's rear view contest influencing this miss from behind. That's gold medal defense from Canada. France weren't able to play their game from the beginning, and here's another example. Dort is physical with Fournier, and this is where FIBA rules allowing more contact helps him tremendously. He's legally holding Evan as that allows him to almost rip the ball away from him. Fournier has had enough and wants a high-low pass through Gobert, but I think I already mentioned who benefits from this.
Gobert just loses the ball.
Canada were so aggressive defending on the ball that they drew 3 offensive fouls in the first quarter alone. And the most encouraging sign is how bought in everyone is on this side of the court. Not only the well-recognized defenders like Alexander Walker, but RJ Barrett as well. Yeah, occasionally you might get punished for pressuring so high up the floor, but it was obvious France can't stay alive long with isolation plays. That's just not how basketball works, especially when you are not the most talented team on the court. Despite all these amazing defensive sequences, Canada was only up by 3 at halftime. Why so? Well, neither Canada nor France managed to avoid errors that we are accustomed to see in the first official games. Here we see a poor transition defense from Canada with Olynyk not recognizing the guy he's marking in time. However, France's mistakes were much more shocking. We are talking about an experienced team whose core has, unlike their opponents, played many championships together, so to see Vincent Collet's team not being on the same page was weird to say the least. 2 of those situations involved Batum and Gobert. Here Rudy points for a switch on the back screen where a bump is enough, leaving Brooks a highway to the rim. At least fans got a highlight reel. In another clip, Gobert leaves the player with the ball alone, probably thinking someone else will pick him up. Alexander Walker says thank you and Batum is mad. They discussed it after in the huddle, and I don't expect France to make so much of these uncharacteristic defensive mistakes later on in the tourney. Also, the fact that it was only a 3-point lead heavily depended on Shai's silent first half. He started slow, missing all 5 shots in the first 15 minutes, but superstars bounced back, and oh boy did he deliver after the break. Among the biggest question marks for Canada was, do they have enough shooters around Shai? That's what France asked here as well. SGA beats Okobo with a sick double cross between the legs, and Fournier comes to double. Brooks is asked to score and capitalizes on the opportunity.
Fancy movement there, wide open. Brooks as he kisses the crowd.
After this, the game got out of control, not because Canada answered the question about shooting. It was the same stifling defense again that opened up Gilgeous-Alexander's spaces in transition. One more sequence here worthy of a textbook with Brooks fighting over screens. The man is a beast. He won't get anything for it in the box score, but guard was canceling Gobert's picks non-stop as he forces Fournier to a hopeless airball. His defense gives Shai a chance to attack in transition, and that's the whole trick of Canada. It's near impossible impossible to double team so early. France don't shrink the floor either, and Okobo is left alone on Shai's island. Next time down, Brooks gets into a foul trouble as it's his third foul early in the third quarter. France have a chance to come back, right? Well, look who subs him. It's Lou Dort on Fournier now, and he picks up right where Brooks left off. Zoom action does not create a millimeter of space, and the guard is forced to pass the ball up with 3 seconds to go. Yabusele does well enough, even beating Olynyk to the right, but the shot is off, and look who has the ball again. Long strides, scanning the court, SGA gets to his spot, shows a beautiful spin to the right, and it's a 10-point lead.
Shai spins, finishes, and that is a 7-0 run.
Now that Shai is hot, Fernandez, one of the most promising assistant coaches in the NBA, shows off his playbook to his go-to guy. It's a double drag into a stagger twirl to get Shai attacking right. Batum gets stuck on the last pick, and even though he recovers pretty well, that's exactly the spot SGA wants to get to. One step inside the paint. Level of difficulty here is top tier, but that's what 31 points per game in the NBA gets you. So Canada is running away with the game in their hands, and here comes the most mind-boggling decision from France. With their offense not finding any rhythm, Vincent Collet decides to throw a 2 non-shooting center lineup with Rudy Gobert and Matthias Lesor. And here's how their first possession together rolls out. Shai influences Okobo to his weak hand. That forces a pass to Lesor under the basket. It is starting to look like a game from 1990s with 2 big guys in the paint, and France turn it over. The problems don't stop though. They somehow forget the hottest man in Jakarta at the moment. Look at the 2 centers. They both fall on their habit to protect the paint in transition, and it's a practice shot for SGA.
Well, they left him open, and that is not a good idea as he knocks down.
His final stat line was 27, 13, and 6 assists, but it wasn't only him offensively. I wouldn't be so hyped about Canada otherwise. Kelly Olynyk added 18, showing why on FIBA courts every team would be glad to have a player like him. Against the drop of France, his ability to pop was lethal. Fournier wants to help, but Canada are one step in front. Ejim cuts from the 45, eliminating that possibility. This was the final dagger in a 25-8 third quarter for Canada, but the middle pick and pop worked twice in the first half too. Fall is in drop here, 5-out spacing for the men in white. Batum helps just like Fournier in the clip before, but this time Dort cuts from the 45, and it's a beautiful bounce pass from Olynyk for 2.
For a moment, oh, nice cut by Dort, and great pass.
If we are looking at the bigger picture, yes, France played terrible, lethargic, slow, and gave up at the first moment of adversity. But that should not diminish our view on Canada's performance. Such excellence on both sides of the court, clear hierarchy in the team, and great coaching makes me think Canada have a real chance of beating the heavily favored USA. Again, it's only the first day and anything can happen in a single elimination playoffs, but hey, that's why predictions are fun. Let me know in the comments section where you'll think Canada will finish the World Cup and their potential chances against the United States. Also, don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.